Right, it's been a long time. Dave Thackeray from wordandmouth.com. I want to tell you about a little online journey that I had today. In fact, everything today is being prefixed with I. That's not egotistical. It's all about the electronic nature of things that are going on today. It just seems to be a seamless segue into things that are going on into the future of today. Today's little ministry, if you like, although that in itself sounds a little bit narcissistic, and it's not, it's to inform and suggest to you ways to do things differently in the social media space. All kind of kicked off when I started reading Infusionsoft's blog, which is right over here, infusionblog.com. And these guys were talking about 11 different ways to gain new traffic. And one of the points was get on LinkedIn and start answering people's questions. Same thing applies to Yahoo Answers and all those blogs out there and different platforms where you can go in and help people. And I've always been this big advocate of ways that we can use networks online to help other people, using our intelligence and our expertise and sharing theirs for that mutual benefit and to grow our mutual benefit businesses. I think that might be the right word. So anyway, I got onto LinkedIn Answers and I started browsing around the writing and editing section. Really interesting stuff. An absolute spectrum of posters out there. I mean, it really does rock your boat that somebody is talking about Fortune 500 companies that blog, and the next thing, you've got a post about which social media tool do I need to use to automate my tweets or to automate my social media posts. And this got me going because I started reading all of these different answers that were united by the same response. Use Hootsuite. It'll change everything. It does tracking. It lets you bring team members in so you can all unite over the same Twitter account. All this jargon, which is great. Hootsuite is a fantastic tool. I ain't denying that for a second. But the problem here is, okay, you can automate stuff, and that's great. It makes you look really efficient. And I suppose there are certain isolated examples where this could hypothetically be useful. If you need to update product descriptions, for example. Not that you'd use social media for that, but you get the idea. There's stuff that doesn't necessarily need a person behind the computer communicating with your community. So this is where I'm at. If you're going to use social media, you need to understand what social means. Social is community. It's building communities and relationships, and it's being there for your community. You can be there for your community and not be there if you've got a blog, or if you've got a really timeless discussion, then get on Facebook by all means and start the debate. Try and do it while you're there. But if we're going to start talking about Twitter, here's the thing. I ring people up and they're always on voicemail. And it irks me. And they're probably on voicemail because, to be honest, they don't want to speak to me. And let's face it, who would? And this is the benefit of having me on a video. You don't have to talk back. You can listen to me for 10 seconds, switch me off, and go and do something better. But the thing with social media is you have to be there to engage. And if you're not there to engage, what are you using it for? It's for you to use as Speaker's Corner, not for the benefit of your audience. Can you think about this for a second? Twitter is a way to connect. And how can you connect if you're not there to reply, to field questions, to answer feedback? It's a relationship builder, and unless you're there, there is no point auto-updating your status on Twitter. And in my mind, if you want to build a really meaningful Facebook page, don't even go auto-updating that stuff either, because I believe unless you've got a very real rationale behind doing it, and as I mentioned before, product updates, auto-updating stuff like your latest beer range, because you might be aware I'm quite fond of the old brown stuff. You've got a reason for it. If I can just recap on what we've talked about today, it's this. Have an adventure on the web, relate to your customers, develop incredible, engaging relationships with them, but please don't start by auto-updating in advance your statuses on the social media platforms. Be there for them Bring them back to your website where you can have a more lengthy conversation, a more durable conversation that doesn't require you being there. 24/7 shop window is your website and use it for that. But please be on Twitter when you're on Twitter. Be there and be fair. It's Dave Thackeray from Word of Mouth. Hope for speaking to you quite soon, and have a fantastic day.